Welcome to Perry Unlikely. Today we're going to talk about a crypto that really by now needs no introduction. That is Chainlink. See, there's a theme that runs in sports that is very similar to the crypto world. In sports, everyone was always looking for the next Michael Jordan. Now they're looking for the next LeBron James. Who will be next? Well, you see, in crypto, there absolutely is no difference. Everyone's looking for the next greatest project that is going to come by and steal the show. Now, is that reason for the technology, or is that reason about the money? I'll leave that up to you to decipher for yourself, but here is one thought that I have on it. Here we have a miniature version of Nessie. We have the abominable snowman. We have gargoyles. We have gnomes, trolls, as well as there is a host of other creatures that just simply haven't been proven to be in existence. Well, I think we should go ahead and get it out of the way and add two more creatures to that. The first one is the ETH killer. And the second one, which I just recently heard, is the Chainlink killer. Let's go ahead and add those to that list. We hear about them all the time. People simply can't prove their existence. And to my point of looking for the next biggest thing, you see, in sports, they're on their way out the game nearly before we try to replace them. Whether that's Michael, and as I said earlier, LeBron James. But see, in the crypto space, often we try to replace these projects before they've even come to full maturity. Heck, some of them haven't even launched fully yet, and we're talking about the next greatest one. Now, I think that's because of the money aspect, not because of the actual project and the actual technology. But I wanted to make that point because when we're talking about Chainlink, let's just start off first with the partnerships. Now, here on Perry Unlikely, I always like to emphasize partnerships. And I generally lump those into two categories: real world partnerships and, we'll say, blockchain partnerships or crypto partnerships, however you'd like to say it. When it comes to Chainlink, the list goes on and on and on like the Energizer Bunny. Most of these are crypto partnerships, but there's some real world partnerships in there as well. And what this long list of partnerships should tell us is there's something about this technology that projects have to have, or that they respect or feel they need to be a part of. And we cannot overlook that. These partnerships are not just for the sake of partnerships. There's a beneficial reason for them, and there continues to be more and more. So as usual, let me explain that I am not a financial advisor. Before you invest in anything, you should do the research and you should seek the help of a professional. That is extremely important. In cryptocurrency, you can get absolutely wrecked. Let me also say that in the comments, avoid the fakes and the scammers. I will not put any messages in the comments about WhatsApp. Also, when it comes to the messages about amazing traders, those are fake and those are scammers. So be careful out there. People are trying to take your money and your crypto. So now that we got that out of the way, I think it is extremely important that I give you a basic rundown on what Chainlink is. Now, most of you by now probably know that. This won't take too long at all. Oracles. It is all about data. You see, in the blockchain world, we need data. Before Chainlink, we had issues getting real world or off-chain data on-chain so that it could be used. And as the evolution of the blockchain continues, this is something that we absolutely have to have, and it's got to be data that we can trust. Now, there's any number of reasons why you need data in the blockchain world. And due to that, Chainlink rose to fame because they figured this out. Whether it's gaming, betting, or any other host of reasons, you're going to have data that supports those actions. Chainlink is able to get that data needed on chain to fit the needed application. And see, because data is so important and we're in the world of smart contracts, data is becoming ever more important. Chainlink is able to make sure that that is trustworthy data. So there's no shortage of cryptos that have to have Chainlink or have to have an oracle to carry out their mission in the crypto space. So I could go on and on about how Chainlink works specifically, but that is not the intent of today's video. It's more so just letting you know that it's all about bringing the data on chain and also making sure that there's a format to eliminate bad actors. And there are consequences for bad actors who give bad data. An easy way to look at Chainlink would be, let's just take the stock market, for example. You're looking for prices, you want accurate information, or we could also say sports betting. It's extremely important to know the scores, to know the numbers, to know the times within the games, because all that plays into the world of sports betting. If we're hosting that type of activity on the blockchain, we need that same information that's in the real world to be accurate on the blockchain. And Chainlink was the one who made a way to do that. Because smart contracts are the way of the future, data is even more important, and oracles are going to be around to stay. And Chainlink is going to be the leader of those oracles, as it has been and it will continue to be, if you ask me. As I alluded to earlier, there is no shortage of people talking about the next Chainlink, or now the Chainlink killer. We do have other emerging oracles in the space. We have Band Protocol, Teller, Dia, Polka Oracle, and there are many more. Chainlink was first to the space, and Chainlink is the leader, but there are emerging projects. Much like I always say with Ethereum, there doesn't just have to be one project in the space. There is room for several. And just like Ethereum, Chainlink is the same in that aspect. There are other projects that will be used. There are projects that will use Chainlink and use Band Protocol. Because when it comes to data, you don't want to leave yourself with only one option. That is the way it is for many projects. But as far as the clear-cut leader, without a doubt, it is Chainlink. And I believe that it will continue to be Chainlink. Now, Chainlink has been around since 2017, but it was last year after the world-changing events that we saw Chainlink rise up from the ashes and go on what I would say was a historic run. So we had Chainlink go from the $1 to $2 range, where now we set at above $32 at the time of this recording. But because in the blockchain world, everyone is impatient, many people are starting to doubt Chainlink. We must remember that just because price doesn't move doesn't mean a project isn't needed and isn't doing what it set out to do. If you were to ask these other projects that are partnerships with Chainlink, they would tell you they're not concerned about the price at all, and they're getting exactly what they bargained for. So that is something to remember. We cannot gauge it just off the price. But I do understand, as people are investing in crypto, they want to see the price move, and that is what you are likely wondering about today. Well, what I do believe is good for the price action is the white paper for Chainlink 2.0 was recently released. This document was over 100 pages. The paper outlines the new architecture for building hybrid smart contracts, where decentralized Oracle nodes can offer all of the capabilities that blockchains cannot. So while this video is not about Chainlink 2.0, we know that Chainlink does deliver, and they are saying that this is the next generation of smart contracts. This will bring a new level of scalability and confidentiality. So I have no doubt that Chainlink 2.0 will be major, and I think this will be a catalyst for price as well. Now, that is simply my opinion, but we have to remember Chainlink has delivered, and I believe they will continue to deliver. Some other things to mention about Chainlink are, I like to always talk about the network effect. Much like Facebook has the network effect, Ethereum does as well, and Chainlink also has the network effect. While these other oracles have been in place, not as long as Chainlink, but have been around for some time, it is going to be hard to take the place of Chainlink. I think they can operate in parallel to it at a smaller scale, but to be able to take that network effect of a project that's got that many partnerships and is working as well as it is going to be extremely hard. Chainlink's community, the Link Marines, are probably second to none in the crypto space. I would say about as passionate as can be. Before most of you heard about Wall Street bets and really knew much about different subreddits, the Link Marines were around and standing strong, and even stronger today. And you best believe as FUD would come out about Chainlink, the Marines would rise up. So some of these battles that we've seen in recent day over the stock market, we've seen these same battles already play out in the crypto world. And that was last year. So with the community, the partnerships, the network effect, and just simply the fact that Chainlink is a good project and the announcement of the 2.0, there is no reason to think that that recipe isn't going to help the rise in price action during this bull run. It's been somewhat of a somber tone the last couple of days in the crypto world because Bitcoin crashed. And of course, that led to pretty much every other crypto crashing. But this is a bull run. This doesn't just happen overnight. And I do believe we'll start to see some of those rebound as we actually already have up to this point. I've been hearing whispers of $1,000 Chainlink. And that's not just recently, but that was back when Chainlink was on the rise, making its run up to $30. And even at this point, I think it hadn't even reached 20 yet. The question you have to ask yourself is, where would that put Chainlink market cap proportion to other cryptocurrencies at said time that it would be $1,000? Where do you think that this market's going to in the bull run? You always have to ask yourself that question because per se, if you only thought that the total market was going to go to $5 trillion, then to think that we would see $1,000 Chainlink would not be very smart. And please believe, there's always someone in the comments that talks about how market cap doesn't matter. There are several things that go into a market cap. Obviously, the outstanding amount of coins, tokens, either or that you have are going to play a factor. So you always want to look into that and see down the road what the distribution of those coins or tokens looks like. But to say that market cap doesn't matter is crazy. The market cap is simple math. So at the time of this recording, Chainlink is in the $32.80 range, and the market cap is $13.77 billion. And the circulating supply is 419 million out of a total of 1 billion. So to tackle that question of can Chainlink reach $1,000, and we're specifically talking about this market cycle, what if we had a $100 million market cap? Well, if the circulating supply has not changed, we'd be looking at a 7.25x from where we're at currently on price, and that would put us at about $238 per link. So now you can start to gauge based off of a $100 million market cap. Do you believe that Chainlink in this cycle is going to reach $100 million? I per se do believe that we will reach $100 million. So with that being said, I believe it's safe to say we should see a $238 link during this cycle. Now let's take it a step further. A $1,000 Chainlink would be a 30.48x from where we currently are. That would give us a total market cap of $420 billion. And that is if the circulating supply does not change. Just think about that. $420 billion market cap. Something else to always remember is, because it's always bought up, that would be the size of such and such. That would be the size of this market cap. No way. What you have to think about, though, is you have to give context to it. Where will the other coins be at that time? So, for example, if we were talking about Chainlink having a market cap of $420 billion, the expectation at that time would not be for Ethereum to be at its current market cap. The expectation would be that the whole market has moved up. So then we are likely talking about Ethereum and the likes thereof having a $1 trillion plus market cap by that point. So whenever you talk about a projection like that, it is usually a foregone conclusion that people are expecting the entire market to move up. We are in a bull run cycle. For me personally, I believe that 420 billion is a stretch during this market cycle. Now, is it possible? Well, anything's possible. And currently, I want to say that Link is ranked number 12 out of all cryptocurrencies. I would think by this time, if we are saying that it's hit 420 billion, even with the other coins moving up, it's going to be higher than the 12th spot. Where do I think a realistic spot is that we could see Chainlink during this market cycle? I'd like to look at around a market cap of at least $150 billion. Now, this would be at the height of the market. So we could be going parabolic at this time. I certainly do believe it's possible that it would reach above that 150 billion, but I feel like 150 billion is a safe number. And for those of you all that don't believe that's possible, or that's just a crazy number, we're talking about a 10.88x from here. So just below an 11x from where we currently are. That would put us at a Chainlink price of $357. I wouldn't be surprised if we did push up into the $400 range, but I do not believe we're going to see a $1,000 Chainlink during this cycle. Will it be possible in the future? I certainly do think we could see that in the future as the collective blockchain world continues to move upward throughout the years. What I want to know in the comments, do you hold Link, and what is your projection for this bull run cycle? At the height of this cycle, what do you think the price of Chainlink will reach? Thanks for watching the content. We recently just reached 2,000 subscribers. I cannot say enough how much I appreciate each and every subscriber. If you enjoyed the content and you aren't subscribed, which by the way, most of the people who do watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you do enjoy the content, you should consider subscribing. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the bell for notification, and I will see you next time.